And now, here is your forecast first.
What a windy and warm day in the Quad Cities. We've had these winds 15, 20, gusting even stronger than that right now, about 15 to 20 miles per hour. We did make it into the middle 80s for a record high, at least one form of a record high anyway. I'll tell you more about that in a little bit. And it's still mild tonight. Here's the forecast first. You can see, well, temperatures will be warming again on Wednesday. Showers and thunderstorms will get here tomorrow night. More about that in just a few minutes here on our Quad Cities News at 10.
Coming up, ballot questions in Illinois. One focuses on ensuring fertility treatment, how abortion opponents are getting into the debate.
And complaints of ineligible voters casting ballots in Iowa will have to wait until after the election. White County auditors can ask questions. Our Quad Cities News at 10 starts now.
Live from the heart of the Quad Cities, you're watching our Quad Cities News at 10 on Local 4.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jim Needleman.
And I'm Danielle Davis. Thanks for choosing our Quad Cities News at 10.
Voters in Illinois will weigh in on 3 advisory questions included in this year's ballot. One of them focuses on reproductive health care.
It asks voters if insurance plans should cover IVF without limits on the number of treatments. Illinois Capitol Bureau correspondent Theodora Colavarez tracks those developments for your local election headquarters.
Before Rachel D'Onofrio and her husband got married, they knew they wanted to have children.
I got pregnant a few times, lost the baby early, both times.
She decided to go through IVF treatment. She went through 3 rounds of treatment, which her insurance covered, but it didn't work.
Not only did I feel scraped out and in pain, but because there were not a lot of eggs fertilizing, I just felt so emotionally devastated and down.
Eventually, they decided to continue IVF treatment, but this time using eggs from a donor. D'Onofrio says her insurance covered that too, and as a result, she got pregnant with her first child. She went through that process again, and now she has 2 children, but she says it wouldn't have been possible without her insurance covering the treatments.
Infertility is all-consuming. It is mentally, physically, emotionally draining. But you still have to show up for every part of your life. And so the fact that I did not have to worry about finances because my insurance covered most things, how lucky, how grateful, how privileged am I?
The cost for IVF treatment can range between $18,000 to $23,000 just for one cycle. And now an advisory question on the ballot asks voters whether insurance companies should cover procedures like IVF without limits on the rounds of treatment.
The more patients who have access to care, who have fertility treatment through employer-based insurance is, going to allow patients to get the care that they need.
Anti-abortion groups oppose the question.
A child is a gift. It's not an entitlement. It's not something you can purchase if you have enough money to afford it, or you can get your insurance company to cover it.
They oppose IVF overall for moral reasons.
You usually end up with more embryos created than are used, and now you have the issue of what do you do about this?
Reporting in Springfield, I'm Theodora Colavarez.
Iowa Secretary of State Paul Pate sent a letter to all county